Coming up next on Prime, we get you ready for Valentine's Day with our Prime picks on gifts, chocolate, and the best places to take your special someone. From passion to compassion, find out how a local symposium is helping those suffering from compassion fatigue syndrome. Prime starts now. Hi, I'm Amy Jones. We put together a roundtable of our staff today to talk about Valentine's Day favorites. Let me introduce you to everyone. I'm here with Paige Stafford, Courtney Smith, and Ashley Hall. Now, we're going to go over all of our favorite things, but first, how can you have Valentine's Day without chocolate? So take a little piece, pass it around.
I think
Looks
I
delicious.
will. Thank you.
I know, I think there's some nuts in some of them.
I was going to say, what kind?
Well, I would love to talk to you guys about some of my favorite Valentine's Day treats. And first, actually, I wanted to discuss fondue. Have y'all been to the melting pot?
Yes.
I have not.
It is a great date. It's a great thing with a bunch of friends. And one of my favorite things at the melting pot is their cheese fondue. Now, my husband and I have tried to make this at home, and it's kind of tricky. Ours ended up a little lumpy, so we found this great alternative. It's found at Central Market, and it's just really easy to kind of drop it in your fondue pot and get your cheese going.
It's cooking.
It's cooking all right.
It smells delicious.
So we have some bread that you could dip in there, or some apples as well, and that makes a great little starter to your meal.
I have a word of warning. Oh. Before the show, we were getting ready, and I was trying to cut everything, and I'm such a klutz, I sliced my finger. So now we have a makeshift Band-Aid.
So yes, beware when you're chopping your apples and bread on Valentine's Day. We don't want any of this.
Fondue is dangerous.
Yes, very. And we also have some mini bundt cakes from Nothing Bundt Cakes, and they're red velvet, so that's just a fun little Valentine's twist on.
Beautiful.
They look delicious.
Yeah.
Yes, I know. I'm tempted to eat one right now.
As am I. They're sitting right in front of me.
And then lastly, we have some interesting chocolates. Here we have some from Andrea Pedraza. She's with Coco Andre Chocolatier, and she and her daughter Cindy have this company that they've run together, and they've made these beautiful chocolates, almost too pretty to eat. You see the hearts, and so we're leaving them wrapped up.
I wonder if they're hollow in the middle or not.
I'm not sure.
We'll have to try.
We'll have to take a big bite out of one. And then we also have on the plate, that's what we all took a piece of, is Dr. Sue Williams. She's an MD, and she knows the benefits of dark chocolate. And so she's put together some interesting combinations of dark chocolate we've got blueberry ancho chili, I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, ginger fig, and cherry pecan. So mixed with the dark chocolate, it's great health benefit as well as some interesting flavors. So those two chocolatiers are going to be at the Central Market Chocolate Festival going on right now, and I think that Paige has the details on that.
Yes, I wanted to talk about a couple of fun things to do for Valentine's Day, and one of them is a chocolate festival going on at Central Market now, and then I think it goes to Valentine's Day on February 14th. But it's the 5th annual chocolate festival, and it's just world famous chocolate makers are bringing in their best creations. I think they're very unique looking chocolates, very pretty. So I think it's something fun to do with your girlfriends, your mom, or just something fun to get out and go do. Also, in Plano is a Cupid Dash benefiting Make-A-Way Charities, and that's on February 18th at the Shops of the Legacy. And you can register for a 10K, a 5K, a 1 mile, or you can just go. Yeah, or you can just go for free and just enjoy. And they have some crazy things going on. They have a kissing booth.
Ooh.
Ah.
And I read something that you can get a lip tattoo, a fake one, for fun.
That sounds painful.
I know. So I don't know about that, but they also have a kiss cam where they're taking pictures of people kissing throughout the event.
I secretly always wanted to be on the kiss cam
Me
at
too.
the stadium.
Me too. And then they also have an arts and crafts station for kids. So I think it's a great family event to go to.
Plus, it's supporting a good cause. It's always nice to know you're enjoying yourself, but then you're helping the community.
Right, right. So I think that's definitely a fun thing to go do. And then for a more romantic date night, Hotel Zaza and the Omni are having Valentine's Day packages. And the Omni's is their Ooh La La package, and that includes accommodations, special romantic touches, sparkling wine, late checkout, breakfast for 2, so that should be fun. And then Hotel Zaza is the I Heart Zaza package. and those are starting at $229, and I think they said they have a lot of available rooms, so
Wonderful.
book them all now. And that also includes accommodations, champagne and strawberries, a candlelit turned-down rose petals, and breakfast for two.
Wow, that sounds
like quite a
great.
night.
Yeah.
Could someone send like a subliminal message to my husband? That would be perfect.
I'm like, hey, Hotel Zaza.
That sounds good. Do you guys have plans yet? Does anyone know what they're doing for Valentine's Day, or surprises, hopefully, or what?
We shall see.
No, unfortunately, I don't know what we're doing.
What are your favorite things to do on Valentine's Day?
Oh, goodness. Well, we have a 14-month-old at home, so it's always just nice to get out of the house. And so anything where we can get out of the house and have a babysitter left behind is good for us.
Good.
Yes.
I'm more of the stay at home, enjoy some nice fine wine, maybe watch a movie, for instance. AFI has the top 100, most passionate movies, and their top 5 are, one is, the ultimate classic, Casablanca, but I'll go 5 to 1. An Affair to Remember, Roman Holiday, West Side Story, Gone with the Wind, and of course Casablanca. I mean, I'll be probably sitting at home having a little movie marathon myself, but
And with this Valentine's themed wine I see you
Yes.
have here.
I think it looks delicious.
It does.
Yeah.
Really
Very
cute labels.
labels, yes.
Very festive.
So perfect night in.
Yeah,
Right.
movie night in.
Yeah, who says you need a Valentine? You can be your own.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
that's true. You can have a marathon or watch it with someone, cuddle up on the couch
There you
maybe.
go.
Yes.
That's always fun. So, I mean, there's a certain beauty to being at home instead of
Yeah.
going to the theater and watching some old-time classics.
Exactly.
Definitely.
Now, everyone loves gifts, right, for Valentine's Day?
Yes, please.
So I was looking for some gift ideas, and this is something we came across. Actually, it was inspired by the Dallas Morning News, and it's from Pinterest. And it's
I'm
really
addicted to that side, by the way.
I know, me too. You almost can't stop on Pinterest, especially with kid ideas and craft ideas. It's insane. This particular gift, it has, the one thing that was a challenge is there are 2 vases. There's one vase, and then inside there's another little vase to hold the flowers so that you don't contaminate the candy with the flowers. So that's something to think about. But the presentation, I really like the presentation because everyone loves these candy hearts, and nothing says Valentine's more than candy hearts and with the flowers. And then you can also do it with other like sweet tart hearts or the cinnamon hearts or and this one has another little vase inside. So some people don't want to do the dozen roses, or they feel like maybe that's
A little cliche.
yeah,
Cliche.
I like the dozen roses. But that's, so then you can get a few, and then with some candy, and it's you're not breaking the bank with a gift like this.
Very cute idea.
Also, I found on Etsy another great website
I'm a big
where
fan of Etsy.
you can find crafty things
Yes.
on there
Yes.
that aren't too
They're
difficult.
homemade, right?
Yeah, homemade stuff. And then I found these mugs on there, and they're personalized, so you have to, think in advance a little bit. And it reminds me of, I don't know if any of you had in high school, the little heart necklace.
Yes.
Best friends forever, right? Kind of that concept, except it's, a little bit different, but for, your loved one.
Yes.
So that's an idea I like. And it's not that expensive. I think it was under 25, under 30 bucks. And I'm a sucker for handmade gifts, and now I have a 2-year-old, so anything that he gives me, of course, I still like what my husband gives me, but I'm a little bit partial. This is something that he made in his school, and it's really simple. They just cut it out, a little heart, and put it together. It's a little keepsake. And then I was really surprised that my husband was inventive and thought about this, because a lot of guys don't think about creative artsy gifts. And so a few years ago, he actually took my son's footprints, and he made a heart shape out of them, and he put the little date, so I know it's from 2011, and I just love it. It's He said it was so much fun doing it too, because he had, I think he had our son in the high chair, and he just got the paint all over his feet.
To do it.
Yeah, because
Mine would just run off.
Paint on their feet.
Put it on there, and that was good to go.
Cute.
Such a sweet idea.
Yeah, so I like it. What do you guys think about making something for Valentine's Day?
I'm not very good at arts and crafts, so I tend to buy my gifts, but I would love to be able to do something creative and fun like that.
Do you have a different feeling if someone gives you a gift, if they bought it or they make it? Is it the same or different?
I think it might depend on who it's coming from. Obviously, if it's your son, then it's going to be a little bit more heartfelt and, something you want to keep around a little bit more, something you could put up in the office, for instance. But I'm never going to say no to a, lovely shiny box,
Exactly.
something pretty inside. But
What do you think?
I guess I'm kind of the same way. I love getting cute little handmade things for my child and for my husband. Well, he's not that crafty. I'm jealous that your husband did that.
I know.
So, yeah, I guess either way, the thought is the thought that counts, right?
Right.
In the end, so.
Does anyone have a favorite gift that you received before? Something that was creative or cool or shiny or?
I still have one of the first Valentines I ever got, that was made by a guy for me, and I still have it, my little box at home. And honestly, I think that's, my personal favorite, the kind I'll always have, I think. But, I agree. It's the thought that counts in a lot of things.
Mm-hmm. They do try.
Yeah. It's the A for effort, right?
Yes.
I remember my 5th grade boyfriend.
Oh.
Although we did not talk to each other, I was painfully shy. But he still got me a Valentine's Day present. And when the doorbell rang, I knew it was him, and I went and hid in my room naturally. And my mom answered the door, and he had about 20 heart balloons and then this little silver heart necklace. It was cute. But
Do you still have the necklace?
I think I do.
I still have I have a little
my
pinky
first.
ring that a boy gave me in kindergarten that has a dangly heart on it, and I still have that in my jewelry box.
Yeah.
So we hold on to these things for some reason.
It's the little things
Yes.
that count and make you remember that, they all start off pretty good.
They do.
Yeah, good old days.
Don't you love those little cards that kids give out too? I love those little Valentine's cards. They're so cute.
I saw a really cute one on Pinterest, speaking
Did
of
you?
which, where they take a picture of your child holding their hand out, and then you poke a hole in it and stick a sucker in it. So it looks like the kid's holding out a sucker to hand out to their little friends in class. So I thought that was really cute. I don't quite know how to execute it, but I have a few years before my son's in the classes, yes.
I noticed on Pinterest and Etsy, they have instructions like step by step on some of those things, really on how to make the craft, because I'm not really the craftiest either, and so that helps me out. I don't know, you can do something unique or different.
Yes.
Do you give the man in your life? Do you give a gift on Valentine's Day, or some people do, some people don't. What do you think about that?
My husband he always has a list ready of what and it's usually golf involved, and so he always has a running list of kind of things he has in mind. So sometimes I'll choose from that list, but Valentine's Day, we haven't honestly ever done it really big, so maybe I'll pick from that list something small, under $20 or something, or just sometimes we just do cards, and I think that maybe what we end up doing this year, so we know the love is there.
I think it tends to be something that the guy spends more money on. But I do like to give gifts too. I think last year I got my boyfriend concert tickets, and this year I did one of those photo books on Shutterfly of our trip to Italy. So I always like to give something.
That's nice.
Small.
I'm always a big fan of giving those really large, giant, embarrassing cards. I just, they seem to have such more of an impact than, the regular ones. But for the most part, I'm pretty low-key, I guess you could say, on the giving gifts part. But I don't know. This year, there's a new potential interest, so we shall see. Yeah.
Very exciting.
That can be a challenge, though, especially in the beginning when you
right?
don't know what to do or how much to do.
Exactly.
Yikes, that's a couple days away.
I know.
Get to planning.
You might be looking online for some ideas,
I think
or
I
some
might
of
be
these
checking out
ideas.
Pinterest. Yeah, seeing if they can, rush order something for me, maybe.
Yeah.
Always an option.
Definitely. Well, we're going to put all of our ideas on our Facebook page, which is our Prime page, and you can check them out there. And you guys did a great job explaining everything and helping people out to really understand, these options out there. So you excited? Valentine's Day
Yes,
coming?
I'm excited to eat all of these things.
Yeah. When the camera's off, then we were gonna don't want to have it all over our face. And look like a mess and everything like that. All right, well, thanks, guys. And when we come back, Paige will preview an upcoming Compassion Fatigue Syndrome Symposium at the Legacy at Willow Bend. Stay with us.
Welcome back to Prime. I'm Paige Stafford. From Passion to Compassion, the Legacy at Willow Bend is hosting a Compassion Fatigue Syndrome Symposium at the end of the month. Louise Dunkerley and Sharyn Fein are here to tell us more about it. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
So tell us a little bit more about who you are and what you do.
Sure. My name's Louise Dunkerley, and I work for Legacy Senior Communities, which has several divisions of the company, and I work with all the different divisions and have quite an exposure to all kinds of people that suffer from compassion fatigue.
You sure do.
I'm Sharyn Fein. I'm the marketing, educational liaison for the company, and enjoy working with Louise on this symposium.
Yes. Okay. So compassion fatigue is a complex subject. Can you tell us a little bit about what it is and also what brought you two together to educate people on this topic?
Sure. Compassion fatigue is fatigue, emotional distress or apathy resulting from the constant demands of caring for others. Apple Care and Companion, the company that I work for, takes pride in bringing free educational programs to our communities in need. This year, the need is compassion fatigue. In doing so, we are going to try and educate people without it costing an awful lot of money in a beautiful environment at the Legacy at Willow Bend.
We're very fortunate to both work for organizations that truly believe in investing in the community and the resources on the outside of the community to help further their education and make their ability to do their job every day that much better.
So what are some of the professions that are suffering from compassion fatigue?
Well, surprisingly enough, there is such a wide range of professions that suffer from compassion fatigue. Anywhere from healthcare providers, social workers, doctors, nurses, police officers, firemen, attorneys. The list goes on and on. It's really amazing how endless this is and how many different types of professions it touches.
I mean, I just can't even think of, you know, if you were a nurse and dealing or caring for someone that has Alzheimer's or dementia, memory care problems, just the weight that you would go home with every day, you know? And I think that this topic is so silent and rarely talked about. Why do you think that is?
Probably because the audiences that we are focused on and dealing with for this particular symposium are the upper level professionals, the people who are in charge of the people who are caring. So what we're trying to do is take the information that people don't have about this type of syndrome and bring it to them so that they have an awareness of what's going on and the things that they need to do to take care of themselves in order to take care of themselves and their clients and the other people who are involved in making the lives of others work comfortably and carefully.
Are there any solutions, treatments?
There are a number of different options. I first want to say self-awareness is the most important step. When Sharyn approached me about partnering with her on this event, and our other sponsors as well, I hadn't heard a lot about compassion fatigue.
To be honest, I hadn't heard about it till we started talking about this. I did not know what it meant.
I know, and after that we saw articles in the newspaper and the Dallas Morning News, online blogs and sites about compassion fatigue, and I really had no idea what compassion fatigue really did to the working professional in this market. When we opened up for the symposium, within 3 days, 165 spots were reserved, which was absolutely amazing.
Wow.
And it really brought forward to us that there's so many people out there that have that need. So the first step is self-awareness, knowing that you have compassion fatigue, and accepting it.
And that seems like the toughest step.
It is, because as caregivers or as professionals that take care of other people, it's important for us to be strong for our customer and our client, but it's equally as important that we recognize our own struggles so that we can be the best for our customer. So self-awareness is very important. Education is extremely important, continual education on this topic.
And not only once having this symposium this year, but continuing annually, this will be the first to continue to educate people, because we have learned that we have so many more people that are interested in learning about what they need to do to take care of themselves. It's in research, it's stated that people who suffer from compassion fatigue are lackluster, become apathetic. Some turn to alcoholism, drug abuse, even suicide. So one of the things that we want to do is help bring that kind of awareness to people so that on an annual basis they can come back and check in and get the educational credits that they need professionally, but also get the understanding of the things that they can do to help themselves. So one of the other things that we're going to include would be healing modalities.
I think it's important to know as well what your trigger points are and know when you need to step away so that you can come back and be the best for your customer or your client. I don't always think that we will acknowledge that at times because we want to be everything for our customer.
And I think it's a sense of pride.
It is.
They don't want to admit that they have issues dealing with certain things, and they shouldn't feel that way at all. I mean, I can't imagine being in that kind of environment, but you're right.
Well, and it's important too, if you really want to do the very best for your customer, you have to do the very best for yourself so you can be that for them.
Right.
You know, knowing when you have to step away and saying, okay, I'm going to work with that tomorrow, and having a support system around you where you have people that understand this illness and this, you know, what it is, but also people that can divert your attention from it as well. You know, you need people around you, peers that
Support team.
support you, but you also need another perspective because you can get hung up in the support of it as well. Yoga, exercise class, listening to music, massage therapy are all a number of different options. But the most important one is knowing what your pressure point is and walking away at that point.
Right.
Compassion fatigue syndrome is probably something that affects every profession. And the reason...
To some degree, right.
Definitely to some degree. If you are in the capacity of helping somebody, you will suffer from compassion fatigue.
Like we were talking about the makeup artist.
Yes.
You wouldn't think, but hearing people's troubles about, you know, their boyfriends, their love life, whatever, and at the end of the day, that can weigh on you.
At the end of the day, at the end of the week, at the end of the month, at the end of the year, after everyone's come before yourself, you've put yourself behind, that's when we suffer. So the whole idea is to try and bring yourself forward so that you can be better prepared and more successful and more helpful to your communities. That's what our goals are.
So the event is on February 24th. What all is going to go on?
Well, in the morning there'll be a CLE for attorney program, and we made that pretty quick so they can get in and out and get back to work like they like to do.
Right.
That tends to be the worst population of people who don't realize they have compassion fatigue. Following that group, and by the way, there'll be a state representative from the State Bar of Texas speaking to that
great.
population.
Okay.
And then following that, we'll have a 4-hour symposium to professionals in the community who are very well known and very respected, have great information about compassion fatigue, will speak. Then there'll be 3 break-apart speakers, and they'll talk to the different communities, whether they're LPCs, RNs, doctors, any other, you know, first responders, clergy, other people who would be interested in breaking apart and listening to the different kinds of compassion fatigue solutions that are available. We'll have lunch, we'll break, and then we will end with healing modalities brought by the Move Studio of Dallas, Texas. And it will be interesting to see the different modalities that people will hook into and hopefully make part of their healing process, which is what compassion fatigue needs. You can't remove compassion fatigue. It's with you. You have to live with it. You have to put it in a place.
Right.
You have to take care of yourself, and you have to always know that somewhere in your back pocket there's a tool to take care of yourself.
Well, that sounds like a great event, and I'm so happy that I'm going to get to be a part of it.
Well, we're happy to. Thank you.
So switching gears, I know this is our Valentine's Day show, and I know that there are some really cute couples at the Legacy that have some great love stories. Can you share some stories?
Sure. When you first asked me that question, I don't really know where to start because there's so many amazing love stories of the legacy at Willow Bend. Last weekend, Mr. and Mrs. Pincus celebrated their 70th wedding anniversary.
That's amazing.
Absolutely amazing. They had a high tea, our chef prepared for them, and they invited all their family and friends. It was a wonderful event and certainly a milestone for anybody to admire. This weekend we have Mr. and Mrs. Litwin who are celebrating their 60th wedding anniversary, and they're having a big party at the Legacy at Willow Bend. It's very enlightening to look at all the different examples we have at the Legacy. I always marvel every day. Mr. and Mrs. Ziegler have lived in our community for so long, and he is just such a gentleman. You always see them holding hands.
He is lovely, and they've been married 65 years, right?
They have. He always opens the car door, and you look at them and you just think that is the example of what a love story really should look like.
I agree. I agree. I've sat down with the two of them, and I just sit there in awe. I mean, really, they are truly special.
And they're so, they're just such a wonderful example for every generation, which we have at Legacy at Willow Bend. We also have brothers, Barry and Lauren Solomon, who are married to sisters, which is amazing. I can't imagine what their family gatherings were like, but they are such lovely couples, and they certainly are an inspiration to all of us.
And to finish up, any Valentine's Day plans at the Legacy?
Yes, of course. Chef Roland will be making a fantastic champagne dinner, and all our ladies will be receiving roses from the Legacy at Willow Bend.
That's great.
So I'm sure it will be a night to remember.
Well, good. Well, thank you two for joining us. If you want to learn more about the Compassion Fatigue Syndrome Symposium on February 24th, you can log on to www.thelegacywb.org, or you can call 972-468-6200. And again, it's on the 24th. That will do for this week's show. Thank you both for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
And also, all of our staff's Valentine's Day pics will be on our website and on our Facebook page. So that's it for today, and we'll see you next time.